What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Storyalysis podcast. My name is Chris.
And I am Pierre.
And we are going to be talking about episode 5 of The Last of Us, Endure and Survive. And you were texting me before this. You think this might be your favorite episode thus far, right?
Honestly, man, unfortunately, yes. And
unfortunately,
I tend to be a prisoner of the moment. Yes, like my comments tend to be very biased. But dude, like I've watched a lot of shows. It's very hard to put you through a ringer of emotions through one episode. Like that's something you go through in a season. Like a show like Orange is the New Black. Sure, it's like, you know, like there's some cries, there's some laughter, but it's throughout the season. But in one episode, these people put me through joy, anger, sadness, resentment. Dude.
Yeah, I think this for all the reasons you just said and more, I think this is my favorite episode.
Yeah, no, this is top tier. Oh, wait, shoot. Before we start, full disclaimer. Unfortunately, I re-listened to the older podcasts. I'm such a narcissist. I like to listen to my own voice. When I mentioned Daenerys that she used that rage, you know, because she didn't get to grow up in Westeros, that might have partially been it. But wait, Christian, did you just cut off?
No, I'm still here.
Oh, perfect. So that might have partially been it.
Just hung
but
up
it was
on you.
Also, it's all good. I went back and listened to it again. I think the reason for her rage was because Cersei underestimated her. Cersei let the common folks get out. Like, hey, you know, she's a good person. She's not cruel enough to go through all these people to get through me. She's going to tell her guys to back off. And then Daenerys is like, fuck that. I got the guts. I'll do it. I'll kill these people. So the rage might have been because of her past, but this is a more plausible reason as to why she decided to just say like Dracarys and kill all these motherfuckers. But yeah, anyway, those are for the Game of Thrones fans.
I have not finished Game of Thrones, so
you don't even know what I'm talking about.
You could be lying in my face right now. I would never know.
A shame, dude. I keep telling you, man. It's a terrible mistake, but hey, you do what you got to do, man.
Yeah, they go fast. Pass.
Christian, you're about to throw the fans into a fucking frenzy.
I mean, I got to like the last season, but yeah, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, it is what it is, bro. So, show at hand.
Kansas City. Accusees liberation of Fedra, dude.
Yes.
Brutal.
Yes. We start off with literally that. Oh wait, is that what that sign said? No, I'm gonna get to that. The first scene is the riots in the street. I know people are like, "Fuck you, Fedra!" You know, it's the freaking revolution. Like the people has taken over, and that's like one of the worst ways to die is like in the hands of like people you've been tormenting. Like that's the most brutal, inhumane way to go. Because when people have had enough, like you've channeled that inner barbarian in them, just. Like they're hanging Fedra officers, they're freaking beating them to death. Kansas City belongs to the people. Kansas City belongs to the people. Like, oh,
I mean, how many ways did they show death in like the first 2 minutes?
Yeah,
there was strangulation. There was people being beaten to death, stabbed to death, tortured, shot, hung, bodies being dragged by cars. There was just gore everywhere. It's crazy. There was one soldier that had his eyes gouged out too. I don't know if you caught that. That's
what else did I saw? Oh, was he already on the floor? No, during or aftermath? Because there was a soldier on the floor. There was one being freaking dragged with a car, and there was like I think nails all over his stomach, all over his body, or something planted all over his body. But yeah, it's Crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. Mm.
Yeah. And they finally show that they show you what Fedra stands for too. I don't know if you caught
Okay.
that.
Is that the sign?
Yeah, that might be the sign you're talking about. Yeah.
Dude, I paused it. I zoomed in. I couldn't, I couldn't read it.
Yeah, it is a little hard to catch, but it's called or it stands for Federal Disaster Response Agency.
Oh yeah. I didn't know that. In the flashback before we met Bill and Frank, as they're taking the people, pretending to take them to safety, the people that were about to kill, the black lady or their baby, they passed the sign and it displayed that.
Oh, okay. So then I guess maybe I just missed that then.
Yeah, it is insane. But yeah, it is.
And then because I think I'm pretty sure right after they show you that little bloody, gory montage,
Right.
then they take you to Kathleen again, put the focus on her. And then she takes she walks into a room.
A detainment center, basically, which is a switcheroo, I guess, because their collaborators are being detained, pretty much. But yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the same room that the doctor was in, right? Or was that a different one?
No, the room the doctor was in was more of like not a hut, more of like a place with one door, no windows, no open, like more of like a little hole with just one door. Because do you remember the shot when she killed the doctor? She's standing outside. They opened the door. It was a small, tiny cell where these people were in a room that is locked in with like a door that you can open and close. It really was a different place. It was a whole different place. The doctor was in like a cell, like a little cell, a singular person cell.
Was it a shipping container, or you think it was like a proper cell?
I don't remember. I can go back and check. But yeah, it was honestly, sure. I'm telling you, dude, for a fact, it wasn't. But you did get one thing right, by the way, the laundromat. Yes, when we're gonna get to the flashbacks, because they did such a good job. That was true. That's where Joel and the first ambush was at the laundromat that you mentioned in the last episode. So yeah, Kathleen goes there. She's trying to get information from Henry, dude, and she's like, she walks in. She's like, I used to be afraid of these people. Because if you think about it, man. Like, I'm skipping ahead, but I'm coming right back. For 20 years is what Henry tells Joel's, like, when they wake up the next morning. When you've been in captivity and getting raped and suffering for 20 years. For 20 years, man, like, you've not been able to be yourself with your neighbors at the fear that she or he might be the one rattling me out. Because it was like, the discretion levels was not the same for all of them. I guess some you could have been like, yeah, this bitch is a snitch. This dude's a snitch. But others you didn't know. That's why she was shocked when the guy's like, oh, fine, I'll tell you. He's with Edelstein. And she's like, Edelstein? I'm assuming that's the doctor's name. She's like, I guess he was more subtle than the rest of you fuckers, which makes so much sense, which is why she couldn't get herself to kill him. Because this is like a doctor, a personal relationship. You know, like this is someone who delivered me, who I ran to when I was sick, or my parents took me to when I was sick or something. It's just, but anyway, fast forward less. She's like, you guys were rattling on your neighbors for medicine, which we'll get to, alcohol. And she's like, and apples.
Fucking apples.
Fucking apples. Oh my goodness. She said, you're informers. Inform. Dude, it's just, oh man. And the guy's like, the guy that ended up saying, when she's like, all right, kill them all. The guy's like, okay, he's with Edelstein. There's a place that he has. I don't know where the place is at. I'm telling you the truth. And she's like, of course you tell him the truth. You're a rat. It's like, ooh.
Yeah, she was just playing with their mental state the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, even when she was like, what'd she say? She was like, so what we're going to do is we're going to put you on trial. You're all guilty. So that's how that's going to go.
Yeah.
And then you'll do some time, but then you'll make it out okay or something like that. And then after she's done talking with them and she calls them a rat, then Perry, he's like, are we really going to put him on trial? And she's like, no, when you're done, burn the bodies. It's quicker. It's you remember in the previous
Yes,
episode when they showed you the
yes,
burning bodies?
yes,
That's
yes. When they show you the burning bodies, exactly,
I think I think those were the informers he was just talking about. Like the burnt
exactly.
bodies we saw, it was those people.
Correct, Christian. And the show has been doing this amazingly, dude. Like not leaving anything like what is it? Giving everything a conclusion, giving everything closure, every detail. Like, oh, you don't know why
Mm.
this happened? I will show you in the upcoming episode why this was the way it was. Because if you remember correctly, I was like, hey, I don't remember anything happening with fire for people to end up like dying like by fire because those people were burnt. They just showed you
Mm.
the same thing with the 80s mean trouble sound. Like they showed you how freaking Frank came up with that idea when he told Tess. It's beautifully done.
And so too, also because I remember when you did ask that question if there was ever like an instance of burning bodies, and when I
Mm-hmm.
was listening back to the episode, in episode 1, when Joel was carrying the that kid's body and he tossed it into the fire pit, you remember
But
that?
that's not burning bodies. Those are people that were infected that they killed and they had to dispose of. Like remember
But
that was
they
a
were,
kid who failed the test.
yeah, but that's an instance of like them
Burning
burning
body.
bodies, though.
Sure, that is true. Dead bodies. His body's already dead, but still, that is true. There is an instance of burning dead bodies. Dude, before that, like I mentioned too in the last episode, I was like, she's so fixated, which I understand. It's her brother that she refused to let anything else take the second seat, even if there's a potentially a ton of infected folks like that they're right above of. Like she told the guy again before to telling him burn the bodies. She's like, "Do you think this is seventh priority for me?" It's like, it's like, it's like this is not seventh priority. This is what we need to do now. Like we need to find Henry,
She's hell
and
bent.
it's justifiable, man. Like I'm just, oh, because like with biasness aside and all that, if this is a show, so therefore it gives you have a bigger picture to make a full analysis of characters and their decision making. But this girl, everything this girl has been doing, how this girl's driven is so justifiable to me so far. I'm just like,
I, you know, I think I would say it's more understandable than justifiable. But yeah, I do totally get where you're coming from, though. Like it's yeah, she's going through hell internally. So all these things that she's doing, all these actions are just an
it's not even
outgrowth
that
of
too,
that hell.
bro. That is true, but it's when we get deeper in this episode to hear how people describe her brother. Dude, this dude was a saint, man. But regardless, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that shit. It's just but yeah, great. So then they show us the hideout, which is where Henry and Sam hid for 10 days, which we saw the previous episode when Kathleen went up there with Perry and found out they're almost out of food. So Edelstein's the one that helped. Which, yeah, when
Hmm.
as I'm watching this, because I didn't get to a few of the things we mentioned that's gonna happen, I'm like, wow, Henry's like I don't throughout this whole first half, I'm like, I don't think Henry's is a rat. I'm like, Henry has a lot of people that would go through so much lengths to keep a secret to save him. I'm like, Kathleen might have had this all wrong, which like I'm hoping she had this all wrong. I'm like, I'm seeing a dude that just is protecting his little brother, who a doctor is risking losing his life, which he ends up losing to find him a place to hide. Like, but anyway, but yeah, just but regardless, it's a beautifully done. So yeah, they find the place. They're out of ammo, unfortunately, and dude, the
Wait,
rations.
something you just said that was I find interesting. I didn't think about this before, but
Mhm.
so informers and collaborators, they're establishing that they are people who rat out their neighbors, like you
To
just said.
Fedra for
Right.
for stuff for medicine, which homeboy falls under alcohol, all types of shit, I guess. Sure, but those are three that she mentioned. Yeah,
Right. And I don't think it'd be a stretch to say that they would rat out somebody to save their own skin, right? Or save
of
their own
course,
life.
dude. When it comes to
And
survival,
yet,
it's you and family.
exactly. And yet, the doctor, who's an informer, refused to rat out Henry when Kathleen was pointing the gun at his head.
Correct. Yes.
That's interesting because they
That
don't.
just shows you the kind of person Henry was, or the kind of character the doctor had. He didn't seem like someone that. Because think about it, dude. You're a doctor. These Fedra guys will need. Like, you're probably the only doctor here, so therefore, but you have to tend to the wound of whether it's soldiers, whether it's bad people or good people, tending to wounds of whoever, because you can't deny someone of care. Or I think that's one of the codes in freaking hospitals, even in shows. Yeah, like even in shows, dude, like freaking hospital shows, The Good Doctor, whatever it is. Yeah, there was an episode of The Good Doctor. Some guy did some fucked up shit and went in there, but they had to tend to him because that's what doctors have to do. So I can see how this dude has grown deep within the alliance with freaking Fedra, because he's probably tend to soldiers and the locals, the other people that he's delivered, like Kathleen and the other guys. Yeah, I don't think the guy was I don't think he had a choice when it comes to the doctor. I don't think he had a choice.
Yeah, you never want to kill off the doctor.
Right.
Post-apocalyptic world like that. Even if the doctor is a rat, as it were. I feel like doctors would be a dying breed that
is actually true.
Preserve at all costs.
But at the same time, dude, you evolve. Like, you think outside the box when it comes to survival. Look at Ellie and Joel. Look what they've been surviving off of. Or like, look at things that people have to get creative. Like, critical thinking need to be like heightened to a level that it wasn't before, because shit, your life is at stake here. So you can't find a doctor, get a fucking get a pair of underwear, rip it and tie that wound or some shit. These things are luxury in a way. But sure, that's true. In the sense that it's still needed. You do need someone that knows medicine, that knows things that the average human being wouldn't, because it's not their forte.
Right.
It is, so back up there, right? And the rations that we mentioned, small fucking rations of food, bro. Like, that I think in episode 3, when you're like, dude, they've been living off of these little bites. My boy pulled out 20 cans. He's like, I got 6 pounds of jerky. For the 3 of us, it should last us 11 days.
11 days. Oof. 11
oh my goodness.
days.
11 days. And he said, yeah, we'll camp out here for a bit, and then we'll make an escape. And the doctor's like, how? He said, through the tunnels. And oh my goodness, sentimental time. But go ahead before I get going that rant.
So this whole scene where they're hiding in the attic, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of when Jewish people were persecuted during the Nazi regime, where there's even the famous story.
Anne Frank?
I can't believe. Yes, Anne Frank. Thank you.
Yeah.
And how she had to hide in the attic when people were knocking on their doors. And not to mention that the name of the doctor was, I think you said it was Edelstein, right?
Yeah.
And that's a name that's common amongst Jewish communities as well.
Really?
Yeah, it is. So I just it's pretty interesting that I don't know if that was intentional, but I feel like yeah, I don't know if that was intentional, but the similarities there,
dude,
they stood out to me.
Nothing is done for no reason, which is one thing you've said and I've grown to accept solely through 5 episodes. But it's like, but yeah, this is up there with Billions, bro. I texted you this, but still, yeah, it's crazy shit. But yeah, if there is a comparison to be made there, if wow, damn, Edelstein, I didn't even know that actually. Wow, what a nice touch actually from the writers.
Yeah, and this one other thing to note on that.
Yeah,
Neil Druckmann.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that he's Jewish as well. So maybe I don't want to say that you know, he did that purely because he's Jewish, but maybe there's some deeper themes there that are to be explored. But yeah, just that's pretty interesting.
Okay. Well, dude, we can just do a quick Google search to find that because you don't want to be wrong. But still, I feel like you've thoroughly did your homework on Homeboy. Like you even described him as a beautiful man. So yes, it's I
He
understand.
is a gorgeous human being.
We love it. Oh man. So yeah, the doctor
Right.
looks the parental grandfather like no, just parental. I guess he's a doctor, like delivering babies and shit, like seeing behaviors of kids. He look at the kid and look at Henry and it's like, hey, he's scared, and he's only scared because you're scared. So Henry, unfortunately, which we've spoken about in the previous episode, trying to preserve. No, Joel's doing something else. No, not that. Yes, we spoke about the other episode how you want to reflect the best to your kids. Like you don't want your kid to know that you're scared. You have to be the strength that they look up to and go through this dark period that you're going through because you're in hiding. Like everyone's looking out for your ass, bro. So he goes to Sam and he's like, I don't look scared. Do I look scared? No, I'm not. Like we can get through this. And just to distract him, just another beautiful touch. Like this place is a little ugly. Like you're a freaking artist, do your thing. Like here's some crayons. It's nice to see. Like in Pursuit of Happiness, Will Smith did something similar with Jaden. Have you ever seen Pursuit of Happiness?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, great. If you didn't, I would have hung up. Like this would have been the end.
That was one of my for a while. That was like my top movie of all time.
Yes. Like Pursuit of Happiness. Have you ever seen It's a Wonderful Life? No, that's gut wrenching. But you just mentioned Jewish. I think that's the name of the title. This father who's a Jew, unfortunately, Nazi Germany, they've captured them, and he is trying to make the experience as playful as possible to his son, bro. Oh my goodness. It's
Ooh,
just
that sounds that sounds rough.
all right, we're not even gonna go there tonight. But yeah, same things. It's just such a nice thing, like to see parents go to such great lengths. Because that's what I'm trying to preserve. Like I don't care if I end up bad, but I need him to not be scared. Because like I'm assuming it's just soul crushing that a parent can see that like his kid fears for his life, because that's the one thing you're made on. You brought them in this earth, and that's your number one function: protect them. Like make sure they know it's always okay. If I can like go hungry so they can be fed or some shit, and you don't want both of you to be hungry. That's just, you feel like you failed. It was just beautiful, man. He cheered him up. He's like, hey, you can draw. So before I kick 10 days later, what did you see that you want to freaking point out?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like that forced bravado for the sake of somebody you love. I adore when stories incorporate that gesture into its characters.
Mm-hmm.
And then, when you couple that with Henry's charisma and body language when he said it, I was immediately like, yeah, the character of Henry is in phenomenal hands with this actor. And in every scene that Henry was in, he pretty much proved me right that this gentleman is a top class actor.
Yeah,
And
no, homeboy grown on me. Yeah.
yeah, and also the music that they played during this moment where he was putting on like he was being courageous for Sam. You haven't played the games, so
No.
you wouldn't realize the weight of that musical score that they used. But oh my god, dude, they play that song during incredibly heartbreaking moments in the story, in the video game specifically. So the fact that they chose to play it here, and it wasn't for a heartbreaking moment, but rather a heartwarming moment, that juxtaposition hit me especially hard as somebody who has the context that the games provide with that music. So that the choice there was, I fucking loved it. And also, I keep saying and also. I need to
The
come up
fuck,
with a
dude? That's
different
like your
segue.
second, and also get out of here, bro. You good? You doing
No,
good?
I mean like across all the episodes we've done. I need
You're such a tortured
transition.
artist. We get it, Chris. You want to be a martyr so bad.
What, bro? I'm being attacked. What's the number for 911?
What's the number 911? And also, what else?
But,
What else? And also,
yeah, at one point the what's it called? The camera, it took on a first person perspective when Henry was looking out the window. When he was in the attic. And for a brief moment, when it did that, I was able to pretend like that was my eyes looking out the window and it, make it feel like I was actually there. And in my quote unquote being there, I was able to feel all the tension, all the angst, all the worry that must have been going through Henry's head as he sees dozens of armed soldiers aggressively scanning buildings looking for him and Sam. It was
you're taking us 10 days. You're already in the 10 days later. Okay. But yeah. Keep going.
Oh yeah.
No, that's where we're going anyway. That's fine.
Going. Okay.
That's the next scene, but that's good, dude. Come on, introduce it. It's fine. It's fine.
Hey, yeah, no, 10 days later. Sam was banging on the floor and made me nervous, dude. He was being loud, but he can't hear. So
yes, he's hungry.
Excuse him.
Sam is hungry. Yeah, and he's asking for food. The homeboy's like, wait. He asked for food again because, damn. And he look at the last can. Oh man. Now, Edelstein hasn't been back for a while.
No.
And until they've even fully confirmed, like, yeah, Sam asked, like, is he dead? And Henry's like, probably, yeah. Do you think if Edelstein actually was there with them, it's not even do you think, they would have had to leave earlier because they would have definitely ran out of food. Like, I'm assuming Edelstein haven't been back for like a day or two. It's just because it had to have been a long time because that morning when they leave. All right. Let's try to put all the timeline together here, right? Yes, there's no food. Henry's hungry, so of course he paints the mask again, very parental, like to be like, you're strong and shit, to give him that extra wing, that extra life force, like you can do it, bro, like you got this. And no young son, like that's all they want to do to make their father proud. I was like, yes, daddy, I'll be a hero. It's like,
what the fuck was that? Why'd you say it like that?
And it's, yeah, that was some kinky shit, actually. I don't know why it came out like that, but as a kid, that's a kid, you will call your dad daddy, bro. It's okay, father. Yes, father, I will be a hero. he's a little kid. Wait, that's weird. That's his brother. Yo, I'm derailing. What is going on? Yes, that's his brother. Yes, big bro. I will be proud. I will make you proud. So yeah. And then as they're leaving, he sees Joel kill Kathleen. Now the timeline that was gonna he sees Joel kill Kathleen's men. What I was gonna make the timeline. Do you remember 1 episode ago, Kathleen was interrogating the doctor. The doctor already looked beaten until she was told to go outside and find out that Joel has just killed 3 of her men. So that means the doctor must have been detained by Kathleen's men for a good day or two because he looked like he was tired in that cell or whatever unidentified place that we can't agree on until we rewatch it. So they probably have had that food for themselves for a good 2 to 3 days. Now imagine if the doctor didn't get caught. Like that last can would have not been there because he would have been participating in the consumption of that food because he was empty. This is why they were able to stretch out to 10 days because they were missing one person. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like food wise. I mean, it's completely irrelevant. As in, his calculations were off. There's no way they would have made it to 10 days with the 20 cans they had. I feel like they only made it to 10 days because the doctor was detained for the last 2 or 3 of those by Kathleen. So it was 2 mouths to feed instead of 3 for the whole 10 days.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
That's just me reading into this shit way too much, bro. But it's just I was like, oh, so nice. Like luckily for them, unluckily, of course, because a friend died. Like they got to have some food to eat for some additional day and make it last to 10. Even last to 10. Did you see what the freaking makeup artist did, man? Like, homeboy looks scrawnier. His lips look mad pale. Like he looked a bit less like meaty. Like he lost weight. Yeah. 10 days later, look at Henry's face. Huh. Like Henry had like a glow, and but he didn't lose like a lot of meat. But it's just like you could see that someone who's been eating very little.
Interesting.
But Sam did not change, which again, the big brother thing, man. Yeah, I don't know why I was saying parental before, like that's a whole kid when it's his brother. Well, that's what he ended up telling us. But Sam did not change, meaning he's been. What's up?
Well, it's probably stress too, right? Like Henry, he probably hasn't been sleeping much at all.
Of course, of course, dude. You're stressed. You're in hiding. You might be found. The one person that put you there is not coming back. What if he ratted you out? He wouldn't have ratted us out. That's another thing because he trusted him. Yeah, the trust that they had in each other is really nice, actually. But yeah, it's and of course he gave Sam more food because he's a kid. He can't bear to watch his baby brother die of hunger. But again, dude, this is let's move forward, bro. We're overly dissecting this. This is dead. There's nothing to dissect anymore from that scene.
Well, there is one more thing. So in that
scene,
in that scene, and like a couple minutes after, which is where I'm sure you were going to go to anyway.
Yeah.
So when he painted the orange mask on Sam's face to make him feel like a superhero, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And then he showed Sam his reflection on a knife, right?
Yes.
So a couple minutes later, they show the moment where Henry sees Joel and Ellie during their shootout with Brian.
Yes.
And the camera. Now this, I saw this on my rewatch. If this is intentional, these people are next level with this episode, because so the camera, it's showing Henry's face in the window, and the camera is on like one side of the glass, and then Henry's face is on the other. And when it's showing Henry's face, an orange horizontal sign is reflected onto his face, and it makes it look like he's wearing the same mask that he painted on Sam. And it happens twice, which makes me think it's intentional. Like they show you that the Henry's face and the sign being reflected onto him. And then he gets like spooked for a second because I think he hears gunshots. And so he ducks down. But then when he like peeks his head back up and he's staring through the glass again, they again show you that orange sign being reflected onto his face to make it look like he's wearing a mask. And it's kind of like, I took it as them trying to show that Henry is being the real life superhero that Sam needs in that moment.
Ooh,
it's you should take a look though. You should go back and see what I mean, because that could be an incredibly hard thing to miss, because I definitely missed it the first time I watched.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Damn.
That was cool.
He did look up to homeboy. He really shielded homeboy as much as he could. Wow. Dude, the symbol behind that. Damn, that's big, man. I didn't even pick up on that. Look at you, dude. I hear. Okay, Christian. It only took 5 episodes, but you've come around.
It only took playing the games like 20 times and watching the episodes 5 times.
That's hilarious, man. But yeah, no, good shit, dude. Nice detail. Freaking attention seeing shit thing. Great. That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Um so yeah, as they're leaving, he sees Joel kills like the guys, and then he is quick too. And then he's like, I got a new plan. I'm like, yo, he has a like when you're in the run, like you can't afford not to like be freaking like thinking fast and being strategic and whatnot, especially your life is that's lives. You have one someone you're caring for also, yeah. So as soon as he sees Joel kill Kathleen's men, he's like, all right, I got a new plan. So I was like, damn, that's right away. He's like, yeah, this is my man. We're gonna stick to this guy and we're gonna see if we can compliment them in a way, which we have the way out, and hopefully we get out of it and he can be useful. Just from seeing this guy in cold blood just kill just 3 people. So they meet each other. He sneaks in. They got the drop on them as they were sleeping. They got Ellie up, of course. Full confirmation that we saw again. He was actually sleeping on his left, not the right, that he has an issue with. So your point that maybe it was fatigue because he had not slept for a while, that looks like it might be it. Because, of course, the body needed to crash because Joel did not rest at all. As he should have. That conversation, that initial interaction was just so...
I fucking love that so much.
Henry really played the role of someone who's never done this. It's so nice to see. And Joel not being able to get in character too, because he's such a killer. Literally, I feel like throughout the whole conversation, Joel's literally like in his head, drawing out plans. Okay, this I'm gonna kill these 2 motherfuckers. It's like I don't know what's next, but I've never done this. So if I lower my gun, you won't do anything.
You, so you don't hurt us.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And he's like, you won't do it? Yeah. It's a weird fucking tone.
It's a weird fucking tone, man.
Ellie's like, he has an asshole tone. It's not his fault. Oh my goodness. He's like, okay. Like, Jesus, bro. And Ellie's like, come on, Joel, read the room.
Yeah,
oh, it's hilarious.
Joel's ready to kill somebody.
Yeah. And he's like, well, I'm the most wanted man in Kansas City, but my guess is you're running close second.
Yo, dude, the writers, they gave him some incredible one-liners in this episode. Like I love the way he wrote they wrote his character. And the one line you just said, that was one of the ones that stood out to me too. So
yes, you're running close second.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is true.
It comes out so nicely. And then he's like, well, I'm betting y'all came up here to get a view of the city to find a way out. And come morning, I'll show you one. It's like, whew.
Yes. Now before that, well, not before that, that same scene. Yes, come morning, I'll show you one. That's when he devised his whole plans. Like, yes, like this is what we're gonna do. Like, I know the way out. This guy will be the armor, the shield to get me to the way out in case of any potential threats along the way out. So it was perfectly. They complement each other well to finish this job. Like on paper, this looks great. On paper.
On paper.
So yeah, right.
It's important
as they ate. Yeah, of course. When Joel gives Sam the last bite, and Henry acknowledges that, like, you guys probably don't have much, and this is probably all you have, and the fact that you give it to him, like, thank you, that's a very nice gesture. And he tells Sam, like, what do you say, or some shit, and Sam's like, thank you, and he's like, he says thank you. I was like, wow, that was freaking dope. But then, yes, like you mentioned, the view. They saw the view. So, next morning, right?
Mm-hmm. Next morning.
Killer City.
Killer City.
In the game, is there a reference to why that is? Is that a nickname for Kansas? I don't
know. No. So they didn't. I think Killer City is unique to the show. I don't know why it was called that. It sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just like it sounds like based on the conversation that Joel and Henry were having, that the reputation of Kansas City is well known. So
Okay,
maybe
that's
Killa
true.
City, it's like referring to the
That's
intense amount
true.
of violence that happens there. I don't
That
know.
is true. That is true from Fedra. Yes, yes. Joel said, yeah, I heard about that. Yeah. Joel's like, yeah, the Fedra dudes were I hear they're pretty tough in this region. And the guy's like, yeah, but the people took over. You know, when you rape and torture people for 20 years, yeah. And they get as soon as they get a chance, they'll do it right back to you, which,
Yep.
of course, that's what the kind of shit that happens. So, of course, identify yourself. Are you Fedra? Like, what are you? He said, I'm worse. I'm a collaborator. And Joe's like, wait, I don't work with rats. He's like, well, you don't fucking have a chance, bro. You're going to have to. It's like, oh, man. And in that same conversation, oof, he's like, well, you don't really need me to work with you because it's still, still processing that you're a fucking rat. Well, you don't need me. You've had a gun, so it's fine. And he said, I've never killed anyone. Pointing an unloaded gun at you is the closest I've come to being violent.
See,
Oh, this is
they gave this dude some good lines, man. I'm telling you,
bro,
here's
bro,
some gold right here.
bro.
This writing.
Dude, I am a sucker for that. You too. We're aware. Oh my goodness. This is what that's like a poem.
Yeah, right.
Oh man. And he turned around and sees Sam and Ellie like bonding, and he's like, I've not heard that smile or that laugh in a long time. It was nice.
And Joel just quickly brushes it off.
Yeah, like, oh, fuck out of here. You're a rat. It's like, you're a rat. So the plan, bam. So my boy, before he gets to the plan, do you want to mention anything?
No, I think the plan's good. Plan's good to go. Like, not the plan is good, but progressing to the point where they talk about the plan.
Okay. So yeah, they're sitting at the table, pull out a map, and draw a map of the city. He's like, Kathleen controls the highways. Like, she got that shit on lock. There's people on roofs, there's watching, but there's one way to get through it. And of course, which is another nice thing too, actually, because he's deaf. He can't hear.
Right.
Can't hear, I mean, you can't be involved in conversations because not everybody knows sign language except for your big brother. But just to be like, all right, bro, I'm gonna give you the assist so you can be involved in this.
Yeah, that is pretty cool, right?
Oh, it's so thoughtful, so big brother like, man. It's like, hey, Sam, what are we gonna escape through? In his language, of course. It's not sign language. Like, and he freaking writes tunnels. Like, oh, and he's like, yes, tunnels. Maintenance tunnels. Whoa, just heard a weird sound again, but it is what it is. Maintenance.
I don't know what you hear, man.
They're getting to me, bro. Christian, they're getting to me. Yeah, so like to the maintenance tunnels, there's we're gonna go down, get out on the west side north, and then there's gonna be an embankment, and then we're gonna go through the bridge, and then we'll make our fucking way out. So he's like, well, before he gets to that, right? So yeah, west side north, the embankment, and go through from the bridge. And then of course they mention underground. How the fuck we're gonna do this? He's like, well, notice anything strange about Killa City, Kansas? Like, yeah, where the fuck are they infected? There's no infected. He's like, exactly. Fedra drove them underground 15 years ago. And people still think they're underground. Kathleen does too, but I know they're not, from a federal officer that I was working with. And he let me in on the deets that it's actually empty. My federal guy told me they actually cleared it out like 2 to 3 years ago. And Joe's like, what? You're basing all this shit off of a freaking, like, your informant that you were working for? Informant? Yes, he's an informant. You're a freaking, what do you call these things? A CI? Yeah, my CI is what the cop would say.
So
anyway,
they're called collaborators, but I think he wasn't talking about a collaborator.
Not them. In police and policing term, a snitch works for a cop. The cop calls him my CI, I think, which means something informant. CI meaning police. CI mean confidential informant. Yes, this is what a cop would call a snitch if he was to be working with a snitch, a CI. So basically, the cop that he's working with, the Fedra guy, let him in on the detail that we've cleared him out 2 or 3 years ago. And they're like, there might be 2 to 3 down there, but you don't know. And Joel's like, you don't fucking know. And Ellie's like, yeah, what about if they're freaking blind and they're coming at you like bats? And he's like, wait, you guys met a clicker and you're still alive. This is right, you're the right people.
He was impressed.
His knowledge of infected, I was like, because you told me they're called clickers. Joel never said those are clickers because you play the games. He knew their name, like to identify them, different types of infected. So I'm like, oh, this is these folks must have, before getting driven underground 15 years ago, because this is 20 years, right? 20 years later. So a good 5 years of infected slowly and gradually multiplying through everywhere. So the Kansas City, the last of them, humans, the knowledge of infected are pretty elevated, actually, if you think about it.
Yeah. Well,
because he even identified them well, like them. So they get to the plan underground. They're on Old Mall. It looks like it's in some old mall. I think that's what they said. Is that what they said? Where they went through?
They said that they were traveling through, I think, maintenance tunnels.
No, to get through that. Like they leave the place or the table to say we're gonna do this through maintenance tunnels. But to go underground, they open they go downstairs. They get into this open space where Joel's like, we need to, like, we're too
exposed.
Exposed right now. He's like, yeah, great. I think we should go that way. But I'm talking about that place before they went underground.
So I saw, the only reason I know this is because I saw this kind of floating online when the episode aired. But the place that that building you're talking about, because it was like kind of clear, right? It had glass walls or whatever. I want to say that's a real life bank, but I'm not completely sure. But I know it's a real building in Canada, I think. And so, yeah, and that's what I think. It was a bank. I could be wrong though.
Yeah, no, that might be it. But yeah, it was interesting. I was like, I wonder what that was. They might have mentioned it, but it's fine. But yeah, if it's a bank, it does fit the profile for it too. Yeah, it's big. There's glass doors and all that. That makes sense.
Right.
So then, yeah, they go down, of course, and Homeboy's bragging already. See, I told you there's no one down there. And they're like, bro, we've been here for fucking like 10 seconds. It's like,
right, man. A little caution, Henry. A little caution.
Right.
I mean, I get. Maybe he was trying to will his plan to go smooth by saying that, but still, I mean, there could have been soldiers down there. Yeah,
and being optimistic also.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that being optimistic, that's another thing too. Did you notice when they first entered the tunnel, before Henry was being cocky, Joel told Ellie to get her gun out, and then he notices that she pulls it out of her pocket, which means that she didn't put it in her bag like he told her to do in the previous episode. And you can see on his face, he's just like, this damn kid didn't do what I said. It's like,
I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, it's a super easy detail to miss, but I thought it was cool that they didn't just ignore that. They addressed it if you pick up on it, but they're not just going to tell you flat out what's happening.
I did not actually. Yeah. No, but dude, the details, they do a very good job at it. Yeah, they keep walking. I like the images on the wall. To me, when I saw that, it's just to tell you that people have been living down there for so long that they even got creative. Freaking turn this shit into the fucking Sistine Chapel. I guess time will do that to you if this is what actually ended up happening. Like all the writings, it was very colorful before they entered the full official bunker, but leading to it. Like nice colors. Like Sam ran to touch one, and then Joel was like, "No, don't touch it." I guess to be cautious, of course.
Like they get into the kids' drawings, right?
Yeah, the kids' drawings, and then they get into this place? And Joel's like, yeah, I heard of this before. It was when the outbreak just started. People just a lot of people just opted out to just live underground, which makes sense. And they're like, unfortunately, maybe they didn't follow the rules and they end up getting infected. And it's so funny. They show you a table with the rules. like only open the door to people that know the password. I don't know why that's the only one I can remember. There was like 4 rules on there, but yeah, it was just some very like basic stuff. Also, no, it was not that basic. It was shit you need to survive. Like, don't open the door to someone you don't know. But like, damn, like, how did these people get not make it?
Yeah,
That must have been sad.
This was I would say this was a memorable moment in the game, because in the game there's this mechanic or this feature where as you traverse the world, you can pick up notes that are left by random people.
Mm-hmm.
And these notes would give you a glimpse into the lives that different kinds of people would be living in this world.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the notes that you pick up is from a guy called Ish. And I don't know if you remember, but in the show on the wall, there was a drawing of like these 2 soldiers, and one of the soldiers was called Danny and the other was called Ish. And then the kids wrote "Our Protectors" underneath them. So that was kind of like an Easter egg to the game, because you would pick up this note by Ish. So I think the first time you see one of his notes, it's like an abandoned boat on the shore. And then it's like a note of him saying, all right, I tried to wait out the apocalypse. I tried to wait out the storm on my boat. I'm running out of fuel or something like that. So I'm going to try to go on land and see what I can do.
Damn.
And then over the course of this section in the game, if you run into these notes, you get another piece of Ish's story. So the next piece might be like, I found this sewer. It seems like it'd be a good place to hold up and try and kind of be safe away from all these affected. And then another note might be, I just ran into this couple who it looks like they had a kid, and I traded them some things. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to try and find them again and see if I can convince them to come join me in this sewage place or whatever. And then eventually it gets to the point where he's collected this group of people. He has this small little community that he's fostering. And I mean, and you could see the story being laid out for you in every room in the tunnels. It's like you had a playground, like they showed in the show, where there's a soccer field, and they had their own system for collecting rainwater so they can have fresh drinking water. They had, I think, they had a bunch of bunkers to sleep in. They had a washing area. They had all this amazing setup going on. And then one of the final notes, I think it's mentioning that someone got infected. And they, I think that's what it was. Like, someone got infected and maybe they didn't know or something. And then,
oh my goodness,
it just kind of escalated from there. And there was like this big fight to try and save everybody that they could. And they lost a lot of people and they ended up leaving the tunnels. I think this is how it went. I hope I'm not getting it wrong. But yeah, all that is to say that this section in the show, it's a callback to what happened in the games, because they couldn't really explore it to that extent, because I think it was only like 5-10 minutes that they showed you them being in there. But yeah, it was kind of a big deal in the games, this little area.
Okay.
But yeah,
I feel like I'm only getting like half of this picture. I feel like I should have played the game. It's
No, I
I don't know.
mean,
It feels like it's a part of the puzzle that's just, it's not a puzzle. It's all in front of me, but there's just so many little like innuendos, so many things I miss out on that will not be significant to me because I didn't play the game.
well, it works both ways too, right? Because what we're seeing with Kathleen and Henry and this whole story arc that they're having, none of this happened in the games. And I think it's personally, I think the way that they're handling this section of the story, I think
Yeah.
I prefer the direction that the show is taking than what the game took in some aspects. But yeah, so things that you're experiencing, people who only played the game never got to experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I feel okay. That's good to know. Actually,
I think
I'm not missing out.
the best thing to do would just be to watch the show and play the games. That's what I would recommend personally. But
unfortunately, I only play FIFA. But sure, and also they don't have it in Xbox. You told me it's a PlayStation thing only, so it's a hard
PlayStation and
life.
PC. Yeah.
So close in PC.
Yeah.
No, but that's nice. I wasn't able to, of course, put that together. I wasn't. There's no way I could have. But it's nice to see that they're still. Yeah, they really tie into this thing a lot. Even some sayings, some exact conversations. They're just perfectly the exact same thing, like that conversation in the car. And you want to know what the fuss is about, or it's like, what is that? I'm just kidding. I'm fucking with you. It's nice actually. It's pretty cool to see. So yeah, and then they're like, yeah, let's just camp out here for a bit and it's still light out and we'll just pop back out when it's dark. So like, sure. And Sam and Ellie are playing soccer. Now Henry. I mentioned the freaking like plethora of freaking emotions I went through in one episode in the span of freaking 50 minutes. Oh, just anger. At the same time, I understand it. So Henry and Joel break the ice, of course. I don't know your situation, should not be judging, but it's very borderline cruel that they would send a whole fucking army after you only for like collaborating.
Dude. Yeah. Remember in the previous episode when I said that, right. you were like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm about to
I still
obliterate your statement.
I did.
But see, even Joel, he acknowledges because that rarely people are good or bad in this world.
After his response, what does Joel do? Bro, you're just Christian, you are blinded,
Nothing
bro. But you know
is black and white, Pierre. It's just a series of grays. That's it. You can't judge situations with limited knowledge. You got to be open to all the different angles and perspectives.
Well, his response made me hate him even more in the moment. But regardless, this is why we're torn between. It's fine, man. It's fine. Different point of views. It is what it is. So my boy goes into explaining. I did a terrible thing. I really lied to you. I didn't tell you the whole truth.
Mm-hmm.
When I said I never killed anyone before. There was a great man. This man was like never afraid, never selfish, always forgiving.
The kind you'd follow
anywhere. I wanted to. And then he pointed to Sam's little brother. Unfortunately, my little brother got sick. Leukemia. Is that how you pronounce it? It's
leukemia.
So yeah, it's cancer. It's like your blood cell. It's I think I know what that is, but just the pronunciation is what it is. English is not my first language, unfortunately. But yeah, and he's like, he needed medicine.
Mm.
Oh, the kind of medicine that you can't find that only Fedra has. So I had to make an exchange. I had to give him someone big. And I gave him this selfless, always forgiven person.
Mm.
He was the leader of the resistance in Kansas City and Kathleen's brother. Bro, before you analyze, yes, you have a baby brother you're caring for. How did no part of you understood why this girl would deploy a whole troop, a whole gang of people to find this man?
That's a bit of an escalation. Never said that. Because I understand why she's doing it. But I'm just saying that neither. It's a like I said before, it's a very messy situation. It's an interesting situation, 100%,
That's true.
but it's a very messy one. That's not just
I
one
understand both
person is
ways.
the right person here.
Correct. But Christian, in the grand scheme of things, which we will talk about how this ended up being a good thing. I'm going to get to that too, of course, unfortunately. But in the grand scheme of things, Christian, you're being persecuted by people that are raping. Well, not you because you're collaborating with them. Never mind. We can't get into the mind of Henry from another person being persecuted because you're a rat. You're getting good treatment. So irrelevant. But anyway, you're watching your neighbors get tortured. One man has stood up for the sign of hope to end that torture. One man who's benevolent. From that description, bro, this is literally like a fucking saint. This is Matthew Murdoch. If you watch Daredevil, yeah, you've watched Daredevil. Like, just the dude doesn't kill. The dude is a kind. Like, he just doesn't let his past define his future. Like, he's Matthew Murdoch is a freaking angel. Sometimes naive, literally, because if you killed Fisk, there would not have been fucking 3 seasons. But it is what it is. But anyway, it's just someone this good, someone who's a sign of hope to take down this oppression that people have been going through for 20 years. He mentioned 20 years getting murdered and raped, and you give that person up. Like, do you understand? Like the like.
Of course, of course. The same logic that you're using to understand Kathleen is the same logic that or not logic, but the same way you're able to step into Kathleen's position and see the world the way Kathleen is seeing it. Do the same thing for Henry. Step into his position. See how he's seeing the world. He has a little brother that he cares deeply about. When you factor in such a strong bond, or when you factor in the strong bond of family, because that's what's happening here, right? It's like two families that are kind of clashing with each other. You have Kathleen's family and you have Henry's family. Both sides are having their actions and their judgments strongly influenced by the love of their family member. So you should be able to understand why Henry. I mean, I'm not saying Henry's in the right here again, but
Christian, Kathleen didn't betray anyone. Kathleen didn't get an innocent person killed. Wait. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about to start this. Kathleen didn't. At the same time, man, listen, it's just I'm not in Henry's position, but it's just like, I don't know if I'm thinking of some characters, like I mentioned, Matthew Murdoch wouldn't do some shit like that. Just some fucking there's just something I can't live with. Like, it's but I understand. As a big brother, I get it, but it's like a nobody, secondhand man, I'd understand. But someone who looked like took you in, because she literally said the last time I saw him, she's like, I forgive him. Someone that good. A sign of hope for
well,
but I get it.
Well, one other interesting thing about that too was when I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit to when Kathleen was talking to Perry, but she said that her brother said to forgive Henry. So you can kind of imagine a scenario where I'm not saying this happened or not, but you can imagine it, where Sam or Henry, he was talking to Kathleen's brother. Maybe he was saying like, yeah, I'm going to do this thing or I'm going to sacrifice you or whatever. Or I'm conflicted on what I should do with Sam. They told me that if I give you up, that they would give me the medicine to cure Sam. I could see this benevolent guy being like, yeah, go for it. I don't know. Could you see that?
If this showed me that, I'd believe that. No, from the guilt that he's feeling, it's not something that was like you don't feel guilt to that extent when it's something that was planned with two parties. Homeboy was blindsided.
That's fair.
I didn't see it, so therefore I didn't know. I don't know. You don't know, but just no to the weight of that on his voice and his body language as he's saying, I did a fucking big bad guy thing. No, that's not something that people shook hand like. Sure, I'm going to give you it for my brother, but I don't know, man. But it is what it is. It is what it is, bro. So then they take us to, of course, after hearing that, Joel, dude, this is the second time Joel does this. When he's like processing something, he's like, "Fuck, let me just get up and still think about this shit." Still,
he can't sit still when he's thinking.
Yeah. So they take us to Kathleen and Michael's old room.
Yeah, I love this scene.
Yeah. How did you, dude?
Mm-hmm.
Right. First thing homeboy said when he walks in to the room, did you find him? No. What about the man who killed Brian? Now, when homegirl said that, I was like, oh shit. I'm like, all right, let's omit my statement that seeing her people die and knowing that, you know what, Henry just killed my people, let me go and kill the doctor, completely eradicated my own statement. Homegirl knew Henry couldn't kill. Homegirl knew it was not Henry who did this. So she said, what about the man who killed Brian? Because she knew, like, she really, that Henry's not the killing type. Meaning this doctor died in fucking vain. This is how I took it. I don't know if this is how you took it. I don't know if that's what the writers wanted us to convey through that. It's just that little question to be like, bitch, what? Like, you've been aware this whole time that this was not Henry? Because you say, what about the man who killed Brian? Bro, this doctor went out for no reason. I mean, there's a reason we did see he did help Henry. So there's a reason to that. But it's just the fact that she's aware it wasn't Henry. But of course, to keep it going, to keep her people motivated, she even made a speech right after that. Henry just killed 3 other guys. Yeah. We need to go find him.
Ooh, yeah,
but
I
understand. I understand the reason behind it, though. But damn, homegirl knew. Anyway, little shit. Wait, I'm going slowly through that conversation. Before I go slowly, I'm gonna get to like, she said, your mom told me you're here. And I'm like, whoa, is Perry out here? What is Perry doing? How do you go talk to her mom? Which unfortunately they never show us the mom in the whole freaking episode. I'm thinking some freaking love shit's about to go down. Like Perry's like, hey, you can call me father. It's just like,
whoa.
Like your mom and I. It's like, I'm thinking some stuff's gonna go down, but it didn't. And it never mentioned her mom. So yes, she described Michael again. Oh my, every time someone talk about this man, I'm like, they really ripped this man away, but I'm going to get to why that had to freaking happen. So Michael was an angel. I was afraid of freaking lightning storms. And he would tell me that we are safe in here. He would make me feel safe, protected, like provide this sense of security to your sister. Oh my goodness, dude, this man that I never got to meet was like, who else is like this? Yeah, I keep referring to Matthew Murdoch, but there's this, I watch a ton of shows. Who else is like that? I don't know. I can't remember, but I might remember someone who's just good. I can say Jon Snow's kind of like that. No, but Jon Snow's more. No, okay, so enough of comparison. Just stick to the show, bro. Yeah, so he's like this. This was just such a great brother. And what happened to him? Where's the justice in that? Like, even though I saw him, he wants me to forgive. He even told me, I know what he would want me to do. But unfortunately, I'm not like him. I've been bad. Like the things I've done, the horrible shit that I've done. I know he would not be proud of me if only he knew the shit I've done. But where is the justice in his death?
There was something so beautiful about the way that she delivered that little monologue that she had. It was just the pauses that she took, the words that she decided to emphasize and the words that she decided to de-emphasize. It was, oh man. Especially that last part that you just said where she's like, where is the justice in that? What is the point of that?
Yeah. Dude, we've discussed a lot of shows. I've always stayed like neutral and we just dissect this shit. We stay as unbiased as possible to just be like, not picking side, just analyzing content that the writers are giving to us in a fair way. But man, for the first time, I don't remember the last time I've been this defending Jacob. I was like that too, actually. Defending Jacob. You've never watched Defending Jacob, which I've been telling you for freaking years to watch.
What's that
anyway
about? Really quickly? I forget.
A son who potentially is on trial for murder of another kid, and it's Captain America, Chris Evans, and he's district attorney. What am I? No. He's Anyway, he shouldn't get involved in the case. He's a lawyer, but because there's a conflict of interest, he's not supposed to be in there, and that's his son. So as we're evolving throughout the show, my boy is completely staying clueless to a bunch of signs pointing to his son, but the mother on the other end is starting to resent this kid for seeing the kind of atrocities that someone that she gave birth to can end up doing. And it's just crazy. It's just this crazy dynamic between a husband and a wife and their son, and the son's a potential killer. One is completely freaking delusional, like the father, like it's not him. Like any freaking clear detail, like it can't be him. He would not do this. Jacob would not. And the mom slowly is just like, this is a psychopath. But anyway, just the difference between those two. Mm-hmm. Like I always advise like married people with kids to watch it, and we discuss it at like great length. I'm like, I understand, but I have to side with her for this because the kid is fucked up. And they're like, dude, you don't have kids. But just the biasness that I'm talking about. So it's like, it's for the first time in a while, I am siding with this girl, man. Just like, I understand Henry's shit, but dude, you took away a pillar of freaking light, of hope. Like, in anybody that I'd understand, but you took away someone that I feel, because we didn't get to meet Michael, you actually got close to, who was kind enough and selfless and all the good qualities you mentioned to let you into his inner circle just so you can flip. And I really hope that it wasn't flipped, that there was some backdoor agreement. Like, bro, I have to give you up for Sam. And he's like, I understand, for Sam. I really hope. But anyway, before I move to what Perry tells her, is there anything you want to say about him?
Before what Perry tells her, yeah, there's just one other thing that Kathleen mentioned. I don't know if you brought it up, but it was after she was saying that little story about how when her and Michael were younger, Michael told her that the room that they were in was like a big wooden box that no lightning, tornadoes, or thunder could get in. And then as long as they were in their box, they'd be safe. And she said he would do stuff like that all the time, and he was so beautiful. But I am not. I never was. He'd be horrified of the things that I've done. And if you...
Yeah.
And then she says, if you've come to tell me that Michael wouldn't want me to hurt Henry, that he'd want me to forgive, she was like, I know that too. And I was like, God damn. That's
I completely, I understand why she wouldn't, but and then Perry delivers the message of assurance, the message that you would always want from a right-hand man. Perry played the role. Like, Perry, tell this girl, Michael was a great man, but he didn't change anything. You did. Bro,
we're with you.
When he said this, you know, my mind stretches. There's never been a revolution that was peaceful. Unfortunately, there needs to be bloodshed. Like, when I think of Michael, the man that these people are describing Michael to be, I think of Martin Luther King. Let's march. Let's hold hand. I think of Colin Kaepernick. Let's kneel. Let's beg our oppressors to change ways peacefully. Nothing will ever fucking get done if like nothing will get done. But his death, his death was the catalyst to his revolution, which gave us his complete opposite, his foil, his sister as a new leader, which flipped this. Like, his death is like freaking Coulson's death in the Avengers. Like,
that's an interesting take on this.
When I say he needed to die, unfortunately. I don't know if you remember. Have you seen the Avengers? The first Avengers?
Yeah.
I don't know if you have. Have you seen the Avengers?
Yeah.
If you didn't, anyway, if you didn't, Loki escaped. Thor is somewhere. Hulk is somewhere. Tony Stark and Steve Rogers are devastated, sitting at a table. And Nick Fury uses Coulson's death to freaking motivate them. Like he brings the cards out and put Coulson's blood on the cards and throw it on the table. And just like that, bro, Coulson become the freaking reason for the Avengers. Like they're like, fuck, someone died. We need to avenge this guy. Like Tony Stark, pick his head up. Captain America, pick up his shield. Bro, if Michael didn't die, that riot that we saw in the beginning would have never taken place. Because like she would not have become the leader. These people would not have, because he was a leader. What does a leader do? Lead. People follow him. Hey guys, peaceful protests. Okay, Michael, you are the leader. Guys, no violence. Okay, Michael, yes, we'll keep marching. It's like it's just whatever it is. And then now homegirl. That's why Perry said he didn't get anything done, but you did. Bro,
So
there are too many Michael. Actually, go ahead, but because I was gonna go off, but go ahead, bro.
no,
Go ahead,
this is I never thought of it this way. It's interesting. So do we know a rough timeline of when Michael died?
We just knew that this was not under Michael's leadership because it would not have gone down like that. Michael was too good of a person to allow riots, to allow that. Another thing too, after the riots, when she walked into the containment room and sat down, you could tell homegirl just like ascended. Like this is the first time these people are meeting this new leader. From what I'm concurring, this is not proven anyway. It's just because when she walked in, these people were like, oh, that must be the new leader. She sat down, like you have a right to a fair trial, and this was Kansas City is free. Kansas City is free. This felt like it was the inception of the revolution. Like it just took place.
Yeah, that means
like, I don't know.
20 years roughly under Michael's rule didn't change anything.
That's what Perry said. Didn't change anything.
Yeah.
Like, bro, there's freaking like there's too many Michaels in this world, bro. Like there's not enough Kathleens. Like like Africa, bro. The whole continent of Africa need a freaking Kathleen, bro. Like it's just fuck. I'm oh man. Wait, Christian, I was just
you remember
I'm fueling up, man. I'm about to go somewhere I shouldn't, but go ahead.
You're boiling up over there. I can hear it. You remember in episode 1 when Marlene was like, if you rebel for 20 years and get nowhere, you're not a rebellion, you're just spray paint for
of course.
fireflies. Yeah, it's the same thing happening here in Kansas City. It's like they just had a seemingly peaceful rebellion, I guess, for the longest time. And when Kathleen took over, wasn't so peaceful anymore. They got kind of, as evident by the beginning of the episode, that does not look like something that was preceded by peace negotiations.
Dude, like what I said. When's the last rant? Yes, I said Africa needs a Kathleen, bro. Like seriously, they're freaking like this is dude, the Westerners, freaking like Europeans, like England and freaking like France, like selling this impoverished and tainted image of the continent of Africa, which is like the richest continent in the planet, and just freaking squeezing it out of its natural resources, like freaking putting collaborators to use the Last of Us freaking term, putting collaborators in power to like freaking prolong unfair trade and just like acquiesce to being overtasked for some overtaxed, like taxing the fuck out of the continent for some change in their pockets for them and their families. Like, dude, there's so many, like these countries, these continents need a Kathleen, bro. Because there's this peaceful shit doesn't get you anywhere, man. Like your oppressors didn't come in peacefully, bro. They freaking came in with guns and blazing. So you have to. That's the only way to do the same. Okay, I gotta. All right. I'm tiptoeing along the edges of a fucking very dangerous topic. Yeah. So let me get back to the show.
Yeah.
Bro, I told you, dude, Inception. I'm on the fucking third layer. You can pull me out. I'm not trying to get canceled. I'm not trying to get fucking canceled or shot. But
but I mean, okay, The Last of Us. These are very intense topics and themes, and they're borrowing from real life events to create these situations. So.
freaking, oh my goodness, when I saw that, when he said that, and I'm like, okay, I see why he had to die. Because that's the only way you would have been fucking free under Fedra. Because his way, no matter how nice it is, would not have gotten anything done because you can't reason with wicked folks. Like you can't beg to people that can watch you suffer, can like lynch you, can freaking. All right, I'm taking this back to terrible places. All right, we're back to the show, bro. so, so yeah, it's and then of course they after I go off on this little rant, and then they switch up. They're back out in the street because it's nighttime. Joel and Ellie and Sam and Henry. They're fucking close to the Holy Grail. Henry's back to being positive again, like I fucking told you. Right
Being
there, we'll take that corner right there. We about to make it. And then he's already freaking foreshadowing a beautiful family. Hey, we're going to Wyoming. You know, there's room for two more. And Joel's like, Ellie, shut the fuck up. Oh my goodness. And then they get shot at.
Guy with shit aim too.
Before a guy with shit aim, before he goes, bro, he's like, do you trust me? Ooh.
That's the second time he said that, yes. Right?
When has he said, do you trust me before?
When they were in the laundromat.
When he said, go hide?
Yeah, did he say it then? Or am I imagining that?
It appears like he might have said it, yeah, in the context before she left. He was like, no bullet will hit you. And then the bullet literally went close to that area right after she said that.
Right.
He's like,
yeah.
No, yeah, but no, it's growing. The relationship is growing. It's strengthening. The bond is father-like. Like even Henry caught up on that shit. Like you might not be your daughter, but you had one. She might not be your daughter, but you had a daughter. And I see your shit and stuff. Like you're protective. Like I know like what I did resonated with you in some small or big way because it looked like you're the kind of man who understands and would have done that for a loved one, little one. So I completely understand, man. And then he freaking go around the perimeter, get the guy. He also does something. Joel has become more and more humane, man. He begs the guy to not do it.
Yeah.
Do you remember old Joel from fucking episode 3 or episode 2 that just freaking just killed that kid who's pleading for his mom? Like Joel saw an old man and say, sir, just put the fucking gun down. Please don't make me do this.
That was one day ago too. And
yeah, that was one day ago.
Their universe.
That was one day ago. Yes. Oh, the progression, man. This man, watch this man weep by next episode. Joel's like weeping over like seeing a dog or something. It's like, the emotion, the floodgates have opened.
It's a pretty sad thing to see. But
yeah, that is true. Oh wait. The fungus. The fungi, the cordyceps, they don't touch animals. so the dog will be healthy.
The doggos are fine.
And then unfortunately, the dead guy, Anthony, already warned Kathleen.
Right.
Homegirl is on her way. The scene where Ellie is running and shooting. I'm like, bro, is this an action movie?
Yeah.
I'm like, is this Tomb Raider? Like, is this
Tomb Raider?
What other Tomb Raider, bro? I'm like, is this? Nah, that was dope. My girl emptied that whole clip, man. She just, and then they are completely caught.
Oh,
no way out,
dude.
No escape,
dude. Okay. So this scene, right? So when Kathleen's speaking just broadly, she's assuming Henry can hear her, and then eventually Henry responds, or no, Kathleen is like, "Come out, Henry. It's the end of the road," or whatever, and then Henry. He's like, I'll come out. Just let the kids go. And then Kathleen, she was like, no, sorry. The girl is with the man who killed Brian, and Sam. Well, Sam's with you. It was. It's like she sounded very in the moment, but at the same time, you could tell she was like she was willing to go crazy at an instant. You know, it's like because. All right, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, go. Dude, you're on a roll, bro. Keep going.
Yeah, so after she said that, Henry was like, "You don't understand," and then Kathleen was like, "But I do. I know why you did what you did, but did you ever stop to think that maybe he was supposed to die?" And then Henry was just like, "You're just a fucking kid." And then Kathleen was like, "Well, kids die, Henry. They die all the time.
All the time."
And then she was like,
"This is what happened when you fuck with faith."
Yeah, well, before that, she was like, and you think the whole world revolves around him? That he's worth everything? I was like, oof, god damn. And this might sound a little crazy, but this was one of my favorite interactions in the show. And let me explain, because I feel like that can sound like a weird thing to say. It's because of the ruthlessness of her words, because of her character arc to this moment, because of Henry's character arc up until this moment, because of the buildup of everything that's happened thus far to this moment, because of the parts, or because of the pain that we know she's carrying, because of the parts of the world we've seen already, and because of the parts of the world we've yet to see, that interaction, it neatly ties together the story that they've been trying to weave in the past 2 episodes. And it's because of the execution of that line in the greater context of the world of The Last of Us, or like the world that it's set in. Because of that, it's one of my favorite moments of all time, or not of all time, but of the show. Because so much so much has been built into that moment to make it really hit the way it did for me. And I loved that line so much. I love that interaction, rather, not just the line.
It was beautiful. I liked it too, actually. It's like, hey, it's borderline sarcastic.
Yeah.
It's like, but kids die. Did you ever think he was supposed to die? Let them go. No, I can't let them go.
Right. It's just kind of, I don't know. Would you say it's I don't know. The reason I'm saying this is because I know you're a Marvel fan, but do you think would it remind you of the Joker at all? The way that he's always so intelligently aware of things, but at the same time, he has that crazy side that's just like hiding in the background, ready to jump out.
Yeah. Or worse yet, she reminded me of Ramsay Bolton from Game of Thrones, but that's a whole even darker side. But yeah, it's like no, it was well, dude. Throughout her whole 2 episodes, I'm telling you, man, I'm like, I enjoy her character, and everything she's done to justify that to me. But yeah, it's Henry's too. I guess I'll come to terms with it. This is your little brother. That's the last person you have in this world to care for. I understand. And then of course these freaks, man. If these people had a regular car that wasn't with a freaking pointy, sharp shit at the freaking, it would have never sunk. And if it did it, there would have never been this crazy interruption, which unfortunately needed to happen for our main characters to come out of there alive, because there was no freaking way. Like they had them dead to rights, but oh my goodness, these infected were ready. You know how we played with like seize the moment in the last episode, like when you're pretending to be crippled. Like, there's a car. This is your moment.
Yeah.
Like this is your chance. You need to give a stellar Oscar worthy performance. You need to trick these people like so we can bait them. Like it was like that. It was like, all right, this is our shot. Everyone's been training. We're on shape. Are we ready? On your mark. Like man.
Ooh.
They took off, bro.
Yeah, and it's so shocking too. Or it's especially shocking because we haven't seen a single infected in a while, it feels like, right?
Yeah.
So for there to just suddenly be a sea of infected, and then we're just,
oh my goodness.
It's just like, it's such a tense moment too in the story. It's
that means the Fedra guy lied to him. I mean,
yeah.
Shit, that's what it is.
Oh yeah.
We got rid of them, but I know that it's empty because a Fedra guy told me that took care of them 2 to 3 years ago. It's like there's probably 1 or 2 left, which is where you come in.
Well, they did travel through the tunnels though, and they didn't run into any. So.
That is actually true. Yeah. They did make it on the other side. But that's another thing too, dude. It's how much there are. Because if you remember the first hiding place where he was, Perry took Kathleen to that basement where we saw the empty cans where him and his brother stayed for 10 days. They were underground in that location too. And they were also underground miles away because homegirl drove by car to get to that location at night. Like that whole region, like I'm trying to draw out a mental perimeter of how far that stretches. I don't know if you understand. Like if you get like they were underground in that place when Perry showed her and she was like, let's not tell anyone. They come from underground here too. As in like the distance of infected people is so vast underground. In Kansas City.
Yeah, I was thinking that maybe I don't know. I mean, they don't give enough detail to say either way. But I was also thinking it could be that just like a group of infected have been traveling. Maybe like the noise. That's a weird image. But the noise above ground, because maybe the sudden hum of vehicles traveling, the infected kind of followed it underground, and then because of that, disrupted.
No, that's a good point. That it traveled with it. That's a perfect point. I can see that. Correct. No, you're absolutely right. Yeah, you can hear it. The vibration is mad loud, and you got freaking tick clickers down there, bro. Freaking heightened ears,
child
bro.
clickers.
They were leading.
Oh no!
Ugh, that was disturbingly like icky, if that's an adjective.
Yeah,
it's just like ugh.
The way it just like quietly sneaked into the back seat, and then it was contorting chaotically. And
whoever is that CGI or an actual kid? Because that kid, if it's an actual
kid, yeah.
Like I don't know.
She's a gymnast.
That's a stellar. Oh, are you serious? Like that's for real?
Yeah. Either a gymnast or a contortionist, one of the two. But yeah.
Oh wow.
She was.
You really like this show to do that much of a details and
tell you.
Yeah, it's
every interview I've seen it.
It's wow. She played the hell out of that role.
And it reinforced Kathleen's point about kids dying, too.
Yes, because that is a half dead, well, human dead, but not dead yet. it's that state that they're in. They should give them a name. Like one of the episodes should have been like a scientist freaking giving a talk on an infected on a table that's like wrapped. Like Will Smith did in I Am Legend, because he had a zombie in his freaking that he was testing the cure on. To be like, in this current state, this is called blah, 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 where the human is no longer in there, but they're also not fully, well, they're whatever they are. Just to give that state a name, that in between fully dying and being controlled.
Oh, so...
But I don't know.
I don't know if I don't think the show mentions this. Yeah, it doesn't mention this, but they do have more classifications of infected. Not many, but of course there's clickers. The name for that is obvious. They click like bats.
Mm-hmm.
The big thing that you saw, that's called a bloater. So the massive thing.
Oh my goodness. I was expecting a fight, bro. Perry went out in 2 seconds.
Yeah,
it would have been unrealistic.
I wish Perry had a little more screen time. But
at the same time,
just real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
To pause on that real quick. So you have clicker, bloater, and then you have what they call a runner, which is like basically the infected that's not a clicker and it's not a bloater. The ones that run after you. So I think those are the main. Oh, there's another one too, a stalker, which they unfortunately they don't mention in the first season. They did in the first game though. It's like an infected that hides and is very sneaky, stealthy. I think that's the creepiest one, and they gave me the most scares in the games. Because it's like they're not loud. It's like they're tiptoeing. It's fucking weird. Don't like it.
I can see you turn the angle and what you're like.
Yeah, I'm very audible noises.
Oh my goodness!
Come out when that happens.
Joel was a sniper on a mission. Protect this little girl at all cost. He did a good job. He did a very good job.
He does not have shit aim.
Yeah, he does not have shit aim. She gets in the car. The the little girl clicker gets in the car. The gymnast or other thing you said gets in the car, and she make it out smoothly in a way and lock her in. And of course, she sees Henry and Sam just getting attacked. So she goes there and she delivers kill number 2 and number 3. Or wait, is that kill number 3 and number 4 from on camera? Because she killed both of these. They're dead now. These 2 infected. She stabbed both of them, like somewhere around the neck area, and they just dropped dead.
Yeah, I think that's 3 and 4.
Well, Homegirl is just at this point, it is what it is. Yeah, and then of course they're trying to escape, and Kathleen stops them. Dude, my heart goes out to her. No, so far, dude, the female characters in this show have been so impactful from my lenses. This is subjective, of course. Like Marlene, Tess, Kathleen, even Ellie. It's just these people have been like, wow. They did not know. It's like, no, we're not damsels in distress. We're not weak. No, we are stern. Like, we're leaders. We can, like, we have the testicular fortitude to make decisions. We don't fuck with us. This is not, the testicular fortitude. Yeah, I love that. I really do love that. It's, because in this world, dude, you got to be that. There's no time for that. There's just no time. Like, we're constantly in the run, and they were very like impactful. To repeat myself. And of course, she dies because she hesitated again. See, this is where humanity keeps coming out, which unfortunately I'm the only one seeing out of the both of us. Like when she went up to trying to locate him when Perry zeroed in on his.
I'm being slandered,
dude. When Perry. Of course you are. When Perry zeroed in on the Sam and Henry's location, when she looked at the drawing, I saw sadness in her face. When she looked at her one of her men die on the floor, when she's like, I have a doctor, I saw sadness on her face. When she left the gun before the infected start running to shoot Sam, before she extend her arm like, it is what it is, I'm sorry it had to end like this. She left the gun. Someone eager to kill someone would have shot him right away there. Just this it's almost this internal conflict to fully go bad, although she have done some fucked up shit. She even said, my brother would not be proud. And the last scene, watching Sam and Henry escape and like lift the gun again, hear something and turn and look at the thing that you heard. Like, dude, if you're laser focused on killing this guy would have been dead already.
Yeah.
Like the lingering to kill the doctor, like going back and forth and do I have your attention now? Just, dude, I'm the only one that just think like that for this girl. Everyone else is just Team Henry, but it's just I really do. I really love her character. It's just, and I feel for her. Her brother died, now she's dead. It's
I will say though,
for nothing.
I will say though that I know you said it tongue in cheek that you're for Kathleen and everyone else is for Henry, but that's not too far off.
Yeah, I draw
like
the line.
There was a lot of sometimes I like to watch reaction videos. I think you know this. People who watch the show.
Of course.
And whenever Kathleen says that line that where she was talking about like kids, where she was like, well, kids die, Henry. A lot of people at that point, they're just like, oh my God, fuck Kathleen. I hate her. She sucks.
Yeah.
Kill her. All that stuff.
I can see why. Yeah.
But yeah, I agree though that
kids do freaking die in that world. It's not a lie.
Yeah, it's not a lie.
But it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
I love her character though.
I know. I love her character. Like all the female characters in this show have been top notch. And I saw the screen for the episode 6. It was the show. This I think is Black Lady. I think that's the poster because I haven't watched it yet because I watch it and then we'll talk about it. But I'm like another female character. It's just I don't know, but we'll see, bro. Yeah, they make it out. Endure and survive. Joel and Henry bond over hating the name of that comic book. Like it's so stupid.
This is the happiest part of the whole episode.
Joel does something, opening up even more, an invitation to join him to Wyoming. And my boys say, yes.
How low was your guard at this point in the episode? Did you think that we were just gonna coast into?
No, I did not. Unfortunately, I did not. From ending of episode 1, ending of episode 2, 3 is fine. 3 was nice. 3 they got to drive the car from Bill and Frank's house. The ending of episode 4, yeah, just they're being held at gunpoint. I did not see them making it out. I knew homeboy's dying. Somebody's not making it out. The foreshadowing, I'll tell him in the morning. I'm like, all right, there's no morning. Like just like, okay, we will do it. Okay, go to sleep now. I will tell him in the morning. Like, yeah, all right. Nobody's making it. Like, I'm like, yeah, this morning is not happening. Too much hope of a positive freaking thing. Just nah. It's just
not in this show. Not in this story.
Like, are you scared? I'm scared of. What did Ellie end up telling homeboy?
Scared of ending up alone.
I'm scared of ending up alone. And she asked, "What are you scared of?" And he asked a question. If you turn into a monster, is it still you inside? Dude,
that's the question you've been asking all along.
These are kids. Yes, but these are kids, man. No, Ellie's developed AF. Ellie got 4 kills. Ellie's an assassin at this point. 3 or 4. It is what it is. But this is a little boy who is aware of what's about to happen to him. Oh, damn, bro. Like at this age, this is Norman like from Promised Neverland, dude. Because you're a kid. What is that cut in my... What is that cut? It's kind of cute. What is that? to know that this is my final moments. Like, I'm scared. Stay with me. Oh, like, don't go to sleep. Bro, just... all right, I can't.
And what a thought that a kid would have, right? Like, because she cuts her palm and she tries to like just hope that the contact between blood would be enough to
because she's homegirl is convinced that she's the cure, she's the antidote. Which, hey dude, you're the only one that's been surviving for this long. You know what this I thought of? Have you ever seen Avatar?
Of course.
1 and 2 or just 1?
Which
the
animated show or the
1? Let's talk about 1.
The movie.
Oh, that was good too. I'm talking about the movie.
Okay. Yeah, I saw 1.
Okay, so one, remember the first conversion of the Avatar and the Navi. Navi is what they're called, the blue people, and Avatar is like a human who's able to be like a hybrid and have an avatar to navigate through with the Navi people. Do you remember the first conversion failed? That woman that died, the human that they tried to convert but didn't make it. But the main character at the end, his conversion passed because his eyes opened. The last scene of the first Avatar, his eyes opened up. The conversion is complete. He's now full not Navi because he was dying.
Mm.
It's a movie you watched a long time ago. You probably don't remember. But anyway, when she tried to do that, I'm like, yeah, of course the first attempt will fail. Like as soon as she did that, I'm like, yeah, there's no hope. Like before they pushed me to the next morning, I'm like, yeah, it's just this show is way too sad and dark for them to give us the first attempt at this to be good. I was like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. I RIP that lady in Avatar that her conversion to Navi didn't make it, but the main characters did. I just literally I was like, that's what's gonna happen. And then it take us the next morning.
Mm.
This girl is so lucky. If this kid wasn't deaf, homegirl definitely snored in her sleep, definitely rolled in her sleep. Oh my goodness. Wait, no, roll. She's not, no, she's on a, but there's movement. On that chair, you will move from left side of your face to right side. This girl is so freaking lucky, bro. You know when you talk about, you took us to episode 1, how they missed out so much from eating that cake. This girl missed out on death.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally.
Yeah.
If that kid could hear, you would have been dead on that chair. Because by the time you get up, your face would have been already being half eaten. Just, like this would have been a Kathleen's death 2.0, which is what I thought. I want to hear your thought from it, of course, because she gets up, call out his name, he can't hear, he's deaf. Not until she gets to his side.
Mm.
But anyway, go ahead, bro.
Well, one thing that I thought was something I wasn't really sure what to make of it. Maybe you have some thoughts on it. But you know, in episode 1, when you saw the grandma, she was crippled, right? So she was crippled. She couldn't move. And then when she got bit, it's almost as if the fungus healed her because she was able to run and walk and all that stuff.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But with Sam,
but that's a physical. Yes, but that's a physical injury that can, a broken bone can heal. But this is something deeper. You can't hear. This is
yeah, but
like this is way more profound.
Where do you draw the line, though?
But sure, go ahead.
Because like, what's the? How could you even heal the physical stuff to begin with?
It's not healing because it's no longer you that's in control. You feel pain. You are limping. You can't walk. You are crawling. A fungus inhabit you. It makes you run because it's not you. You're a puppet that's being done whatever it is this thing is willing you to do.
Yeah, but I mean, because they haven't really talked too much about the science of it all. But it's just
it cannot make you hear the fuck. Just like, you know, dude, you've watched possessed movies, like freaking scary movies. Whether you're crippled or not, if you're possessed, it's whatever that spirit does. Like you can be on crunches, a spirit make you fly because it's the spirit that's in control of you, but not of if you couldn't hear. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's nice that we have opposing views on a bunch of these things. That's cool for the listeners, man. They're like, oh, they're always fighting. Like, oh, that's so cute.
Oh my god. Oh. No, but yeah, I mean, but we don't know. We don't know the extent.
He didn't hear. We don't know if that's true, but he didn't hear. He only heard her, not even heard her, when she got close to his peripheral vision, like close enough for him to see in the corner of his eye that someone's right next to me. And then, of course, he jumps. No, like I'm willing to bet that he didn't hear because he was deaf. I just, like it's just she got up, call out his name, Sam. Like no, my boy didn't flinch. Walk, my boy still didn't flinch because there's steps. Someone's walking, but get close enough. Now he sees. I'm gonna say he didn't hear. Again, this is subjective. Only like this is what great shows do, and this show's been freaking amazing doing that. And of course, the saddest freaking moment. Oh my goodness. His first kill is the person he cares about the most.
The one he went through all that for, dude. The one who he sacrificed Michael for.
Yeah. The hesitation he shot at on the floor to indicate to Joel, don't fucking move. Up. Which was very selfish.
No. Like that's not a matter of being selfish.
What if okay, parallel universe. Let's stretch out and draw our own conclusion from this scene. He bites her, and now we're dealing with two people. Just because you stopped me. Now we're dealing with two infected. And of course, you're not going to stomach killing him when he's charging at you because this is still your brother. I completely understand that. Like a Train to Busan, that happened. The lady's like, fuck it, let me open the door because this is my two ladies, sisters, whatever they were. I understand that. Game of Thrones. Some mother, when Jon Snow joined the Wild Wing, her daughter's charging at her because they went into the other side because they died, the side of the dead. The mother let her guard down and let her daughters kill her. I completely understand that. But do you see the ramification of stopping this man from stopping this situation?
Yeah.
Could have, but didn't happen.
Yeah, I do.
Didn't happen.
I don't think selfish is the right word to capture what happened in that moment. I think overwhelmed by emotions.
That's too harsh.
That is accurate.
Yes, that is too harsh. Like stop. Yeah. Don't do anything. Stop. Let me think. I can't believe this is happening. And that shot, that could have been Ellie. That shot wasn't even aimed. Like, went from fixating on Joel to just turning bam.
Imagine he shot Joel's foot. How would we deal with that?
How would we deal with that? And then reality, clarity. What did I just do? Oh my goodness. You told me these people are not involved in the game at all, or the role they give them here is not that big in the game to the role they gave him in these 2 episodes. The way they introduced them, wrapped them up with nothing left to linger except for memories for Joel and Ellie as they continue their journey is so beautifully done. It's like they were never there.
Yeah.
Because like you said in the game, they don't have that role. But to just the beauty in that. That's dude, the writers are fucking.
That's a great way.
I gotta give these motherfuckers
That's
props.
A great way of phrasing it. I was trying to think of how you could word the sensation that it leaves you once Sam and Henry are just gone out of the picture. But yeah, it's like it's as if they were never there, but they most definitely were there. It's
shit. Oh no, this changed Ellie. Ellie's even Joel, the way another thing, that look, man. Oh, like as they're not digging, they're done burying them. They're putting the sand back, the earth back and shit. Like the burial's done. And she's like, she put the thing down that says, I'm sorry. She's like, where's west? She heads west. And Joel look at the sign that says, I'm sorry. And then Joel look up and there's this sadness. If I'm trying to put myself in his head, it's like, this little girl has gone through so much in so little time. Like, I feel for her, is what I think. Might not be what it is. It's just me, of course, stretching this out probably. But I was like, damn, this kid. Like, oh my goodness.
He's been through a lot.
He hesitates. She's like, let's go. He's like, damn, he's still taken aback because he is still processing what she must be processing.
Yeah, I think her way of processing this now is just like, okay, now we need to do this. I'm firm in my resolve now more than ever that I can help the world rid itself of this infection. So Joel, come on, let's just go. Let's do this. Let's save the world. I think that's how she was feeling at the end.
Yeah, that's it. And then they give us that beautiful music. And then they freaking walk out. What an episode. Holy shit, dude. This was like almost 2 hours.
Jesus fuck. We probably lost
we just made it.
Of our 2 listeners, we probably lost one of them at like the 45-hour mark. 45-minute mark.
Like, all right, these motherfuckers. No, honestly, no, I have faith. The way I got so hype. I just started watching this, so if I'm as pumped and if the fan base is that strong, I can say that there will be people that will enjoy every second of this and will even want it to stretch out even more. Because there's just if I'm listening to something that I'm passionate about, like time is irrelevant. Like I want more of it actually, because I'm in a way connecting to people that are gravitating towards something that I am fascinated about also. Like, oh damn, he picked up on that. I picked up on that too. Oh, they didn't mention that. Oh, I didn't think of it like that. This is just no, if the fan base is that strong, bro, there'll be folks that are staying. But of course, yeah, we potentially lost one of the two. That is a fact. Because people don't got this time. Um.
But yeah, great episode, man. This one, yeah, I think it's my favorite. Yep. Next, the episodes coming up, they're great too. Don't want to put a damper on that, but this one, it does a lot for me. It does a lot for me. So.
Okay. Well, we'll get through it. This one was dope too. All right, man. We've yeah. This has been too long. This is a movie. Anyone who's made it this long, shout out to you, my girl or my man. Shout out to you. It's thank you for being so faithful. This has been long.
Seriously.
Okay. All right, dude.
All right.
That's it. All right. Bye. Till the next one.
Till the next one. Bye.
Yep.